says Nigeria would not see petrol shortage despite an ongoing strike by Nupeng. Yitwada says more state governors will defect to APC ahead of 2027. Warri Federal Constituency leaders protest at INEC headquarters seek stoppage of voter registration. And on the foreign scene, Israeli military strike, a mass leaders meeting in Qatari capital, Doha. Good evening. This is News at 7 on Western Spring Television. I am Femi Ojo. A spokesman for Nigeria's Dangote Refinery said on Tuesday that the country would not see a petrol shortage despite an ongoing strike by union representing fuel tanker drivers. The strike by the Nigerian Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, Nupeng, which began on Monday and has since drawn support from other unions in Nigeria and abroad, comes as the refinery, the largest in Africa, is hiring its own drivers to deliver gasoline to retailers. The refinery spokesman, Anthony Achijena, said there is no fuel shortage. Everything is going on, adding that talks were continuing between the union, the government, and the company. Before last year's opening of the Dangote Refinery with a capacity of 650,000 barrels per day, Nigeria had to import almost all its petrol despite being a major oil producer. The Dangote Refinery has driven down prices of petrol for consumers while also shaking up long-entrenched players in Nigeria's oil sector marred by decades of corruption. But it has also sparked monopoly fears as it becomes a powerful player backed by Africa's richest man, Aliko Dangote. Meanwhile, the National Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers this morning vowed to continue its nationwide strike after the collapse of the conciliation meeting organized by the Minister of Labor and Employment, Mohammed Dingadi, to settle the crisis between the union and the Dangote Refinery on Monday. The meeting ended in a stalemate as both parties disagreed on the unionization of tanker drivers at the Dangote Refinery, and the Nupeng president, Williams Akporeha, who spoke on Arise Television this morning, said the union had no choice but to press on with industrial action after Dangote's management rejected recognized oil and gas unions and allegedly claimed to have a separate association for its workers. Akporeha stated that the representative of the Dangote Refinery, Sayo Dentata, walked out of the meeting. He reinstated that the strike is still on, but the union is still open to dialogue and discussions are still going on, but the strike is still on. He noted that yesterday's meeting should have been a one-day affair, but what happened should tell Nigerians that they are in with a dictator investor and they must stand up against that.
Dangote to succeed. We wanted Dangote Refinery. If there's anything, this union has always canvassed for local players in the sector. And when Dangote came, everybody was happy and it was heralded. So we have continued to give him all the necessary support that he needs. But the only area we disagree with him is that he cannot have workers that will not have say in his employment. That is not the trend, globally. And even in this country today, but our beloved president worked in the our beloved President Ahmed Bola Tinubu worked in the sector before, and he knows what happens in the sector. If it was companies like Dangote that workers will not have a say, I'm sure. Okay, let me just say the president knows what happens in that place. Let me not go beyond that. But again, our interest is not to sabotage local players, including Dangote. We want it to succeed, but it should play by the rules. Dangote to succeed. We wanted Dangote Refinery. If there's anything, this union has always canvassed for local players in the sector. And when Dangote came, everybody was happy and it was heralded. So we have continued to give him all the necessary support that he needs. But the only area we disagree with him is that he cannot have workers that will not have say in his employment. That is not the trend, globally. And even in this country today, but our beloved president worked in the our beloved president, President Ahmed Bola Tinubu, worked in the sector before, and he knows what happens in the sector. If it was companies like Dangote that workers will not have a say, I'm sure. Okay, let me just say the president knows what happens in that place. Let me not go beyond that. But again, our interest is not to sabotage local players, including Dangote. We want it to succeed, but he should play by the rules. Dangote to succeed.
Born Jeremiah Oyeni Obafemi on March 6, 1909, Obafemi Awolowo was a prime architect of Nigeria's independence and most consummate advocate of free education and social welfare in Africa's most populous nation. Erudite politician, thinker and philosopher, Awo was fondly addressed by associates and political colleagues, brought his unique attributes to bear on governance in the defunct Western region. He administered as leader of government business and the premier between 1955 and 1958. Obafemi Awolowo's premiership witnessed pioneering in multi-sectoral policy initiatives and execution. The Western region under his administration paraded several enviable records. First television station in Africa, first real estate in Nigeria, first high-rise building in Nigeria, first modern sports stadium in Nigeria, first agricultural settlement in Nigeria, first modern civil service secretariat in Nigeria, and first industrial estate in Nigeria. His face is on 100 Naira denomination as a mark of honor for his distinguished services to his country. Western Spring Television identifies Obafemi Awolowo as a major character in history.
Arrested, affected, sound, found. What do we see? What do we say? Flowing from a spring. A fact A to Z. Check and confirm. Ever expounding current events. Traveling down from the business gist to the globally arising happenings, to the sports news, to the bittersweet infos. Guided transmission, even diffusion, vast and fast. Detailed facts are fled. Within seconds, nuggets of words that flew across borders are fired. Stories short and long, wrapped in bundles of words, broken and dissected as it is, except misheard. This is the news as it is.
The British Empire was the largest and the most powerful in the world. At its zenith, the empire embraced a quarter of the earth's land surface and imposed her imperial majesty's rule on more than 458 million peoples across nations and continents. The empire took off with overseas possessions and trading posts, established by England, spread over 3 million kilometers between
You're welcome back. The Independent National Electoral Commission on the 25th of August commenced the physical phase of the continuous voter registration across Nigeria. And this phase followed the online pre-registration that commenced on August 18, 2025. However, according to figures from the Commission's website and officials, no fewer than 5,965,451 permanent voter cards remain uncollected across the country. Joining us on the news at 7 to discuss these are Comrade Abdul Ghaffar Lamid, the coordinator of civil society organizations, strategy groups on SDGs, and Citizen Lola Way, the Osun State coordinator of the Center for Anti-Corruption and Open Leadership. Good evening. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
All right. As they say, ladies first. So let me start with you. How will you assess the continuous voter registration exercise so far here in Osun?
From the monitoring that we have done, we have gone around to interact with people who have, especially market women and men. The reports so far is, I think, is encouraging. The turnout is good, and the response from INEC is also good. Although there are some hitches, and I think INEC need to do more publicity, making the citizens know exactly what to expect, what to go out with, because we have had some of the market women complain that their defaced voters card, that they were, a particular woman said she was asked to go, that there was nothing wrong with the voters card, but she felt the card was already defaced and should be changed. And then they should also let them understand that if they have registered before, they need to provide information of the previous registration, so that even if the card is lost, if they have an idea of the name they use in registering, the time the registration was done, that will be used to trace their details on INEC records, so that there wouldn't be double registration, which might result in the cancellation of the voters card.
Right. Mr. Lamid, let me ask you, quick one, your assessment of the CVR here in Osun State.
Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Moderator. Yes, of course, like she said, we've been, doing what we call community outreach here and there. We've been to many marketplaces, and so far so good. The good people of Osun have been turning out, to make sure that they registered, and to make sure that at least the dividend of the democracy, has been coming to Osun. So that encourage, most of the people in Osun to fall out to make sure that they register for the, exercise. And by and large, like you said, we've been encouraging most of the market women, because their problem is that they cannot leave their market, to go and register. That is the major discourage that we are getting from them. But we are using this forum opportunity to tell the INEC that if there is a way they can do to, adjust their movement, like he said, that if it is possible, they should reach out by designated, some of their desk officers at those strategic places, so that it will be easier for the market women, to register easily.
So like having those, some of their facilities and their officers in those markets.
Exactly.
So if they will not be able to leave the market, at least when those things comes to them, they can be able to. I get you now. You talked about sensitization, actually, and let me ask Madam this one. News had it, like the report had it last 2 weeks. Osun and Lagos have been at the forefront of this continuous voter registration exercise now. But you say the market women are not doing what they are supposed to do. No, maybe they are not. Possibly they could do more in the way. So what I'm actually asking is the area of awareness. The report said Osun is doing well, yet you are talking about awareness.
Yeah, Osun is doing well, because if the market women that we have spoken to, most of them have gone to do their to participate in the continuous voters registration exercise that is ongoing. But what you are saying is that more can also benefit if the facility is taken closer to them. It may not necessarily be inside the market, but somewhere close to where the market is, so that they can easily go do the registration, the physical registration, and return to their business without it harming their business.
Their business of the day. Now, Mr. Lamid, you are the coordinator of the Civil Society Organization Strategy Group on SDG. So let me ask you, what strategies is your organization, putting in place to make sure that underrepresented groups, like the market women just talked about, people living with disabilities, rural dwellers, are part of this process, and they are aware of what they stand to gain, actually?
Yes, thank you once again. Like I said earlier, we've started sensitization and education also to mobilize them, here and there. And aside that, we're also planning at the same time to have a kind of town hall meeting for all stakeholders that we, involve most of this community that you mentioned, especially the market women, the
rural dwellers.
Yes, people living with disability, the traditional rulers, the
religious
leaders, and all the stakeholders.
Okada riders.
Yes, Okada riders, the Korope riders, then most of all these artisans. We are trying to reach out to every one of them to bring them on board, not only to mobilize them, but also to educate them and sensitize them. How do I mean? There are some people who have the PVC before, but they lost it or it is damaged. By the time they registered online, some of them registered as a new registered. And before you and I, INEC will not issue a PVC for such person. Because when you go to the INEC see continuous registration photos, you will discover that it is involved 3 aspects.
Okay.
The new registered, the damage, and the relocation aspect. So if peradventure you wanted to relocate and you now fill form for renewal, for new registered, automatically your PVC will not come out at the end of the day.
That will be double registration.
Exactly. So we are trying to encourage, to educate the people, the good people of Osun on this aspect. Because I have an experience of that.
Right.
In the last 4 years, I registered as a new collector. Meanwhile, I have the PVC before, but it's damaged. So when I register for it, at the end of the day, I couldn't get any at the end of the day. So I'm going to re-register for damage this time around. And that is exactly what even motivates me to make sure that the sensitization, education, and town hall meeting at this material time, we need to encourage our people to educate them how to go about this exercise.
Succinctly put there, and I think this is one of the reasons why you are here today for proper sensitization. Because many persons will feel, if I actually have a defaced one, or I can't find mine, instead of just opening up to tell the people the real state of the card, they'd rather say, let me get a new one. And you are saying that is automatic cancellation.
Exactly.
All right, now, talking about people going for this exercise, let me ask you, Citizen Lola, has there been a case or cases of disenfranchisement or interference that you've had so far?
No.
No.
We've not had any such reports from those that we have interacted with. We have not.
It's been smooth.
Not so smooth.
What are the challenges you found out? Let me ask you.
Okay. One of the challenges is, I told you about the woman who said that she was told that she could still use the to her, the card is already defaced, but that when she got to the registration point, she was told that the card could still be used. So, and then one of the market women leaders also told us that where she's, I think that's a success story. What I'm going to say is not negative. She said that immediately she got there, they recognized her and accorded her all the necessary respect. She was attended to quickly, and that they posted her back to a polling unit close to her where she lives.
That's transfer.
Yes.
But now, looking at what you have said, for possibly a market leader, somebody of high status, who got to that place and she was accorded a respect, given a preferential treatment, wouldn't that be unfair? And the rest of the people that are there lining up, because there are pockets of those situations that some people have talked about having possible politically inclined persons or the big people in the society coming to the place and being given the pride of place while others are lining up.
No, I think what happened was she got there in good time and she was properly attended to. Not that she took advantage. No, she didn't take advantage of. She didn't use her office to take advantage of others.
All right, let me ask you, because I see you giggling. Possibly you wanted to say something.
Yes, thank you. Before I jump into that question, let me also cite some challenges that we've been, experiencing in this exercise. The first one is the aspect of most of the, registers were complaining about taking much of their time. That means the facility by the INEC is not enough. Some people are spending days, hours, at the INEC local government centers, which is not good enough. That's number one. Number two, the aspect of challenges we are also facing presently in us is the aspect of some politicians, like the case of that woman she mentioned. Prior to that time, before she could get to where she can register properly, someone has even visited her, checking her data for her, discovered that her data cannot be found on the INEC portal before she now got to another place. You understand? Then, by and large...
Are you talking about political interference?
Yes, my brother. Presently, it's happening in Osun. And that's why you discovered that about a week ago, there's this conflict between the two leading political parties. That some are coming from Lagos, using their Lagosian to register, at the end of the day, to find their way, things like that. That was the...
Those allegations, are they founded? Did you discover if actually they are true?
Yes, we have not gotten any, authentication about that allegation. But the fact is that people need to be conscious of about all this. Then the issue I wanted to raise at the same time is the aspect of the question you threw to me. It's not as if the women were being given the privilege, to...
People of status, when they come to centers, do they queue, do they line up as others, or there are still issues of...
as far as our dear country is concerned, you cannot rule it out, my brother. But the fact is still boiled down on the issue of enough availability of resources, material, by the INEC. Let's assume you can easily, using your smartphone and register online yourself, and get your PVC there, easily, or you can you can also phone on your phone without even going out there, easily. So if the provision are there for all this, then we will have experience of kill here and there, wasting people's time.
You are talking about improvement on the technology.
Exactly, my brother.
All right, that would be my last question, for Citizen Lola Way. What are those things that you are recommending, like an improvement on the process on the technology being used right now?
Well, I'll not say that we have even mastered the manual process to start talking about. It is an improvement that this year people have the opportunity of the pre-registration that took place online, because I know that people still have, because of the way we behave here, people still have to go physically so that their biometrics can be captured. But I think what we need is more hands.
Yeah.
To man those registration centers, and then the materials must be enough to meet the number of people and then there must also be a queuing time. A person, how many minutes is the officer expected to spend with an individual? And then I want to know, I also want INEC to designate special centers for persons with disabilities so that they can be attended to. And then
only them.
And then the special attention that they need. Like they need sign writers, so that those who have challenges with hearing can also be properly attended to. It is their civic right to register so that they can vote. They should be encouraged to come out. Yes, and that is one of the things that we intend to achieve with the town hall meeting that we are going to hold with leaders of persons, the different cluster groups of persons with disabilities, with religious leaders, with traditional rulers, with Okada riders, Korope drivers, and the market women and men, and then the artisans. We're trying to reach artisans through P1.
Yeah.
And then...
on a scale of 1 to 10, that will be my last question for you. How will you rate the process so far? 1 to 10.
In Osun State, I would say 6.
6. Slightly just above average. All right, thank you. We'll be speaking with Comrade Abdul Ghaffar Lami, the coordinator of civil society organization strategy groups on SDGs. Thank you for coming out, Comrade.
Thank you so much.
And of course, Citizen Lola Way, Osun State coordinator of the Center for Anti-Corruption and Open Leadership. Thank you, ma'am. I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
All right. Moving on, the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Professor Nentawe Yitwada, has said more state governors will defect to the ruling party ahead of the 2027 general election to strengthen President Bola Tinubu's second term bid. Yitwada made his known on Tuesday during the 12th expanded stakeholders meeting of the APC in Bayelsa State, where the party formally endorsed Tinubu as its sole presidential candidate for 2027. Represented by the Deputy National Chairman South, Chief Ima Enuku, Professor Yitwada said Tinubu's performance in governance was attracting governors, senators, and other key political figures from opposition parties. He cited the recent defections of Delta State Governor Sheriff Obrewari and Akwa Ibom State Governor Umo Eno, who both left the People's Democratic Party for the APC, describing their move as a sign of the president's growing influence. The APC national chairman urged party members in Bayelsa State to remain united to ensure an overwhelming victory in 2027. He added that the South region had shown political maturity by aligning with the APC, noting that governors from the zone had abandoned their old parties to support the president's vision. And here in Osun, a former lawmaker representing Osun West in the Senate, Senator Mudashiru Hussein, has appealed to members of the All Progressives Congress in Osun State to support his aspiration to become the governor of the state. The Ejigbo man made the declaration on Tuesday when he formally declared his interest in the APC ticket for August 8, 2026 rather. Governorship poll after a meeting with members of the State Working Committee and other stakeholders at the party state secretariat in Osogbo. As a senator from June 2011 to May 2015, Hussein had previously represented the Oshodi Solo Federal Constituency in Lagos, the House of Representatives Abuja between 1999 and 2007. Already, about 12 aspirants have shown interest in the APC governorship ticket, which will see the eventual candidate of the party face incumbent governor Demola Adeleke, who is expected to run on the platform of the People's Democratic Party. Addressing scores of his supporters who had gathered at the APC State Secretariat to witness the event, Hussein said he has possessed relevant experience to govern. Some leaders from Warri Federal Constituency on Tuesday staged a protest at the headquarters of the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) in Abuja. The protesters carried various placards like "CVR today is a political fraud in Warri Federal Constituency." Warri Federal Constituency, no word, no unit for CVR. INEC give us the final report, among others. They also carried a huge banner bearing the map of Ijaws and Ishekiri communities in Warri South Local Government Area of Delta State. Among other things, the demonstrators are demanding an immediate stoppage to the ongoing continuous voter registration, arguing that the exercise was not done in accordance with the recently concluded delineation. They are also asking the electoral umpire to immediately release the final report of the Supreme Court ordered delineation of electoral registration areas, wards, and polling units in the Warri Federal Constituency. According to them, the release and implementation of these records will help them to participate in the ongoing voter registration process. The protest was in response to the Commission's delay in implementing the Supreme Court order. And to security, the Nasarawa State Police Command has arrested a total of 9 suspects and recovered 4,264 ammunition in recent operations across 13 local government areas of the state. The State's Commissioner of Police, Shatima Mohammed, made the disclosure during a press briefing at the command's headquarters on Tuesday in Lafayette, the state capital. Speaking about the major breakthrough recorded by the police in the fight against violent crimes in the state, CP Mohammed noted that officers of the command recently recovered a large cache of firearms and ammunition in the Kiana local government area of the state. Mohammed further narrated how operatives of the command during an operation on September 6, while acting on actionable intelligence, arrested a suspect named John Paul from the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, along the Akwanga-Wamba Motor Park in the state en route to Abuja. In another development, the Commissioner of Police noted that on August 31, at about 03 hours, operatives attached to the E Division in Shabu, a suburb of Lafayette, arrested 2 notorious gun manufacturers, James Philip and Alpha Philip, both males of Faferua area, the Lafayette local government area. You're watching News at 7 on Western Spring Television, and still to come, Sabanti Nith